Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast. Yes, another wrestling podcast. I am Willie Tiny. This is my guest, Will the Thrill. Big Will is unfortunately not able to make it. Um, let's hit our intro music.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
This is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
Welcome along, everybody.
Welcome.
This wonderful Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Let's start off with the headline news. Breaking coming out of, I believe it was last night. It's wrestling related. We got unfortunately, CJ Perry and Miro unfortunately broke up after 7 years. Unfortunately, it's a 7-year itch. Your thoughts, Will the Thrill?
Well, I guess anybody divorcing is sad. So to hear that, I mean they were definitely a good on-screen couple.
Yes, definitely. So hopefully they can rekindle, if anything. Fortunately, I want to welcome along L.A. Willie, our honorary Will. How you doing, L.A. Willie?
How's it going, guys?
Welcome to the show.
It's L.A. Willie. Yeah. No, it's nice to be on.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
You want to say anything about CJ Perry and Miro before we move on to the next headline?
I think it's a little bit sad. They've always been a good couple all this time, but it was kind of strange just seeing them in AEW not being on TV that much, or just seeing kind of like both of them being a little strange to each other. So to see that news, kind of surprising. It kind of explained why Miro hasn't been on TV for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah. Totally agree. All right, now also, Sheamus recently deleted his Twitter X account. He wrote hi, and then he said bye.
That's just weird.
That is weird. Yeah.
I
read that he went back to Bulgaria. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the articles I read yesterday is saying that he, they remain friends and he went back home to Bulgaria. So I don't know how true that is, but kind of explain why he hasn't been on TV. But really, who knows when we'll see him again?
It wasn't like a passport issue or nothing, was it?
No.
I'm sure he's
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm assuming that he's, just a little disappointed with, them going their separate ways. So he's probably going to take some time to himself.
A little heartbroken, yeah, because this day and age, divorce is never ever a good thing. It's just sad, especially seeing their chemistry when they were on screen together. And when he was, of course, doing his podcast, or not podcast, but his Twitch channel. And I know she was supportive of him and vice versa on her projects that she was doing.
Yeah, nowadays, like celebrity marriages don't last that long.
Sheamus hasn't been on TV since August 18th of last year, and that was Edge's last match.
Wow. That's
Yeah, it's been a while.
But wasn't Sheamus hurt even during that match? He just did it because it was Edge.
You may
Yeah, I
be
believe
right.
so. Yeah, I thought the last thing I heard that he's like close to a return, but I can see him coming back after WrestleMania.
I agree.
I want to see him come back and get that Intercontinental title. That's one title he hasn't won yet.
To be a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like hoping for that too when he had Gunther, But I guess we're gonna have to wait till that.
CM Punk is returning on Raw this coming week.
March 25th, live in Chicago.
Yeah, you can't have a Raw without CM Punk.
Drop some truth, drop another pipe bomb. I'm still waiting for that one moment when he just talks about punching people in the face.
I think it would be a great idea if CM Punk is the host of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I mean, he might have that cast still on that arm, but that mouth can still work.
Exactly.
That's his moneymaker right there.
Indeed.
The Raw Tag Team title will be defended at WrestleMania 40 in a 6-team ladder match.
That's I'm actually excited for something like that in a ladder match too. And can you see any surprise people coming over for that event?
Sure.
I mean, maybe somebody we've never seen a long time before. I know the Hardy did it once before,
WrestleMania 33, I was there for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm actually guessing they're going to come back for that.
I wouldn't be surprised because there's been news and report that Matt Hardy says his contract is up at the end of the month.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he has a 90-day complete calls or not.
Unless they pony up that money.
But honestly, I don't know if AEW really has that. Because a lot of people that left from AEW because they could still tour other independent scenes while they're still under contract with AEW. I really haven't heard of any stars like not competing afterward.
Jey Uso calls out Jimmy Uso for WrestleMania 40.
Yes, I saw that last time. I'm like, finally, we're gonna get the match, and I do hope, the rumors that it could be a Philly street fight.
Yeet.
I was like, I would love to see that. My family will love to see that. They're into street fights and no holds barred type matches, so that would be awesome.
Yeet.
Totally agree.
And having Rikishi, hopefully, I'm gonna have my fingers crossed to be the special guest referee.
Ooh, how about that? That's a wonderful idea.
That would be something.
I mean, he would have to call it fair, because if he chooses one or the other, that's showing favoritism. Which twin?
I mean, we'd love to see that.
It'd be a good way to slide him in there too, as well, to be with the family.
Yeah.
What side would it be on?
Yep. Key
Good
point.
question.
He's going to have to call it right down the middle.
Because all parents love their kids equally.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
Yeah, and if it was a street fight, we know somebody's going to get involved.
Yep.
Sami Zayn battled in a gauntlet match last night, earning his way to face Gunther for the IC Championship at WrestleMania 40.
Not surprised. I mean, I would have hoped it would have been Chad. He can finish his story, but not surprised that Sammy is in there since he was looking for a path to WrestleMania.
I still am holding hope because we still got what 2 weeks, 3 weeks left before the biggest show on earth in the WWE. I could see Chad wiggle worming his way into that event.
Make it a triple threat.
Make it a triple threat. If not, then hopefully whatever the results is for that match, he grabs that torch for the next show, the next PLE.
Yeah. Or he can take a page out of Hogan's book and come out, and, if Sami Zayn don't win, and he goes in there and challenges Gunther right away and takes it off of him.
Because the match between those two, especially with an exhausted and beaten Sami Zayn, who eliminated two people, 3 technically overall because he ended up beating Chad Gable, but Bronson Reed took a splash right before his facing Shinsuke Nakamura from Bronson Reed after the frustration from Reed onto him. And so Sammy was a really beaten down man by the time he faced Chad, which is the result of the gauntlet match. It was still a good showing.
It was.
On both ends.
Continue with WWE news. It was just broke this morning. WWE SummerSlam will take place August 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Cleveland Browns play in their stadium. It was reported on the Logan Paul show Impulsive.
Oh, that was the announcement Logan Paul was talking about. Okay.
Interesting.
Cleveland rocks.
I was gonna say what other news he has, besides putting the Prime logo on the ring.
Well, he could have still gloated about that. I mean, it's Paul Logan.
Yeah, it is Logan.
We got news coming out of X Brand Wrestling that they are having a show WrestleMania weekend. They're having it Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. It's entitled Sick New World. And they will have Drake Younger challenging the boss, Christian Ross, for the XPW World Heavyweight Championship. On top of their show, they're having May 17th. Double check that.
But I love the name of it, though. A Sick New World.
Yeah.
What's the world we live in? But in the wrestling world, that is definitely kind of taking it to the extreme.
It's also it is May 17th.
Yep. Need a little extreme.
All right, we got through the headline news. Let's see if there's any breaking news before we move on. I got one little tidbit here. Elias says Ezekiel was Vince McMahon's idea, and that's about it.
So he just let out the cat out the bag. But that was cool seeing him playing dual roles. Walk with Elias. Walk with Ezekiel.
I want to give a shout out.
I was saying, wish we would have got the third brother in there.
Mom, dad,
sister. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to eWrestlingNews.com. That's where I get my news source from. They are very reliable, and they don't put nothing out till it's confirmed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's move on.
Also, yesterday's news.
Oh, go ahead.
Yesterday's news for the Hall of Fame inductee for the WWE, Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The very great legend himself in the boxing ring. Also at the first WrestleMania, and word is that he was a huge pro wrestling fan.
That's correct. Muhammad Ali was a special ref enforcer at WrestleMania 1. He actually had a wrestling match with Antonio Inoki in Tokyo, Japan. Ended in a draw.
The man that fought Superman and won.
He also had an incident with Gorilla Monsoon. He engaged himself in a match, and Grillo had no part of that. Picked him up and gave him a hell of an airplane spin.
Good old days of wrestling.
Oh yeah, that was going way back.
Yes, it was.
Muhammad Ali was also influenced by Gorgeous George.
Mm-hmm.
I got some facts about Gorgeous George. He was one of the first persons to have an entrance music. I think he was the first.
Yep.
Starting with L.A. Willie. Would you like to say anything about Muhammad Ali?
Just one of the greatest boxers of his time. He was one of the big celebrities that helped launch WrestleMania to what it is nowadays. And in my opinion, was in the beginning, it was a lot of the celebrities that helped WrestleMania get to where it is. With his star, helped out a lot.
Will the Thrill?
In the gaming world, WWE 2K24 just dropped. A lot of people were surprised to see his name actually in the game. I, for one, was one. And I completely forgot that he was the special enforcer for the very first WrestleMania. And it's just an honor to know that he's being inducted and that he's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, Tyson was in there, but to have the man that floats like a butterfly, sting like a bee, the rumble in the jungle man himself, Muhammad Ali.
All right, let's get into the next inductee. We have Bull Nakano. Now, she did most of her wrestling in All Japan Pro Wrestling. She won many of championships. She had also wrestled in CMLL.
Didn't know that.
4-time women's champion in 4 different companies. Her big feud in WWF was with Alundra Blaze.
Mm-hmm. They had a lot of good matches, those two together, but she was all around like a force to be reckoned with.
I agree. She had like a year stint in WWF, but she was WWF Women's Champion. Most of her career was outside of WWF. But she was very good for her talent and everything else. If you chance, go back and watch her matches.
I mean, you definitely can't go wrong with the hair, man. I mean, it was fit for the style back then.
Yep. It was
Any
hard
other
not to know who she was.
Because
anything
we
else
talk
on
about
her?
like mid '80s, right?
Um, late 80s, 90s.
Okay.
She took a little retirement, and she came out of retirement, which is not surprising in the wrestling world.
They
She, I
get that
believe,
itch, man. They get
I,
that itch.
I believe she is fully retired now, taking meet and greet bookings.
Yep.
Anything
She still
else?
makes those appearances for that.
Anything else on Bull?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to the U.S. Express, which was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham.
But Barry Windham and Mike are brothers, aren't they?
Brother-in-laws, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay. Because I mean, I know they were very, very close. And I was hoping like one of the Rotundas would definitely get in and for his work. Um, Mike Rotunda, the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, for those who don't know. And when Barry Windham was sick, Bray did preach out. So I knew there was some type of close relationship with the Rotundas and the Windhams.
They went on and won multiple tag team championships together in the NWA, WWF, over in Japan. They were 4-time champions. NWA, 2-time WWF tag team champions in WWF. And they did have singles careers also.
Mike Rotunda is more known as Mr. Irwin R. Shyster, IRS, one of the legendary heels in the WWF at the time. But so yeah, this is of course before that, aka Mike Rotunda.
Right.
So speaking, since we're talking about the U.S. Express, do you believe Bo might introduce him, induct him? I mean,
Yes.
I say they would.
because honestly, I wouldn't know who else would be, have that honor.
I say family do. I mean, they've been all around the world, so it would be hard to pick any to like duck them. Family. I also would have liked to see Bray get in well with father.
Isn't there still 2
Without a
slots
doubt.
left? Still 2 slots.
Yeah, because they normally do about 5 or 6 each year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think they're probably still time, but that's just wishful thinking. Like here in the household, we all say the same. Wish Bray should get it well.
Well, keep your fingers crossed for that to happen.
Without a doubt. Mike was a 5-time tag team champion altogether. 4 times with Barry and 1 time with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. They were known as Money Inc.
Yep, Money Inc.
No, one of my favorite heel tag.
And they ran WWF at the time as tag team champions, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
They had a
and
class.
DiBiase just made it work.
They had a classic match at WrestleMania 9 with Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake for the tag team titles. And Barry, he was Barry Windham. He was a member of the Four Horsemen. WWF, NWA, CWF, Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW in Japan.
All around.
All around Barry Windham.
Worldwide.
He kept busy. He kept busy. He found work. He had work. He was just that talented for his size, his strength, and his charisma.
Barry Windham was an NWA heavyweight champion. He beat the Great Muta at Super Bowl 3.
Wow. Not an easy task, man.
Nope.
The Great Muta, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think he was inducted, last year? But he was the innovator of a lot of moves that's used today in wrestling. And the fact that you have someone, Barry Windham, who beat him, not just in one promotion, that's a goal right there, man. That's an achievement.
I got this thing where I've been showing my shirts off during the podcast. I got my Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame shirt on I'm wearing.
Nice.
DX still.
Any more on the US Express, guys?
Nope.
Moving forward.
Moving forward. It hasn't been announced yet, but Hall of Fame headliner potential, he may not be, the one and only Mr. Paul Heyman himself.
Well deserved, man.
Well deserved. ECW, NWA, WCW, WWE, other indie promotions around the world. Well, the States, AWA, CWA, CWF. The list goes on for Mr. Paul Heyman, was known as Paul E. Dangerously.
Mm-hmm. A true pioneer in the wrestling business.
Yep. I'm hoping he wears the baseball cap once he comes out, because the fact that it's in Philly, I could see people bow down because of ECW, man. It was a revolutionary. I mean, he ran the promotion and he put it in a place where nobody really would expected it to be. And it was like a second home to a lot of extreme, and I do mean capitalizing on the word extreme wrestling.
Yes.
He's always had that. Go ahead, LA Willie.
I say one of Philly's own.
Yep.
New Yorker, but
him being a New Yorker to do it in Philly, it was it was just something you felt close to.
And on top of him coming out with the hat, I would like to see him come out with the old phone.
I was just trying to mention that. He's always had that phone gimmick.
Yes.
He's probably had the first cell phone I've ever seen in my life.
The big thing that was
Square.
About the size of your head.
Nope.
And he would smash people over the head with it.
Yeah. I would like for him to come out with that at the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
Definitely.
And who would you have him abducting? There's too many, really.
Too many. There's too many Paul Heyman guys. to induct them.
It's only a shame that two of them is, we won't say the other one, but only two's product right now.
I mean, well, they did put Brock back on WWE.com roster.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Could be him. Could be
Brock
Punk.
Lesnar. Could be Punk.
Could be someone from back in the ECW day that come over for a one-day, event.
I would like Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer would be really good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, could be him. Could be RVD.
RVD.
Yeah.
Could
What
be
about-
Taz, but
No, it won't be Taz.
yeah, we're thinking that.
What about Stone Cold Steve Austin?
That would work. That could work.
He is
I
one of the
wasn't good.
original
Yeah.
Paul Heyman guys. He was
Yes,
in the
he was.
Dangerous Alliance. That's another thing. He managed, and he was the stable of the Dangerous Alliance.
Hmm.
He's like the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Right, they both can have a Steve-Wise stage before he
Without
gets
a doubt.
dropped.
Yeah, before he gets dropped.
Paul Heyman started out as a photographer in the wrestling world.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I always thought he was like like one of the ring crew guys that got this jump. That's pretty interesting to know. And now we follow the wise man, even when he does like special appearances and talk wisdom to a lot of kids and stuff who, for questionnaires. Man's a genius in some ways, man. And sometimes being a Paul Heyman guy has its benefits as well. Not only has he managed champions, he actually tried to push younger talent so they can get centerfold and get their chances out there. That's one thing a lot of people did to respect about Paul Heyman. He's not afraid to take chances on the nobodies.
He's good at scouting talent. He knows you have it. He will back you up.
Yep. Just like one promo Cody Rhodes did before the whole Bloodline feud.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that about Dusty.
He's been manager of the year throughout the years, managing, as we said, the Dangerous Alliance, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and right now our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
The wise man.
He is the wise man. He has multiple nicknames also. Wise man, head of council. The list goes on. Paulie Dangerously.
On and on.
Owner of ECW at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since we're on the topic of Hall of Fame, I said this in the last episode, with Paul Heyman, ECW as a whole company should go into the Hall of Fame. Do it this year in Philadelphia.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh,
Without a doubt.
100%.
Where would you guys rank Paul Heyman as a manager?
I have him in the top 2
Top 2?
managers. For me, it would be him, and it would be off of the South, Jimmy Hart.
I would have him in my top 5, maybe top 3, because of all his accomplishments. My number 1 would have to be Paul Bearer.
Okay.
Because with him and the Undertaker's whole storyline, the Undertaker's character, yes, Paul Bearer has been other people, but his character with the Undertaker for the generation and length that they had, even when they weren't together, they were somehow still connected, in some sort of some way, somehow. And then, of course, with Kane, and Kane became a champion along with Paul Bearer. My second, of course, would be the Weasel, Bobby Heenan, the Brain. And then third, of course, would be the man we're talking about, Paulie Dangerously.
I got to put Paul at number 1. He's number 1 on the Mount Rushmore managers for me, without a doubt.
Oh, so we're not far apart.
Yeah, we got 1, 2, and 3.
There you go. The 3 wheels of wrestling. Agree.
Yeah.
He's definitely, without a doubt, he's top 3. Without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. I want to thank our honorary Will with this.
Thanks, L.A. Will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be with us tomorrow night watching the AEW watch along.
For the big business.
for the big
Oh,
business in
sookie
Boston.
sookie. Boston.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Boss. You got it right, Boston.
let's hit our music, and we're going to take
Oh,
this home.
before you do that, I'd like to kick a shout out to Stan, our last guest. Want to thank you, Stan, for your time on our last show. That was for you, bud.
I'll also do a shout out to our fellow follower. His name is Buckets, and he's from Delco also. Thank you for being a fan of the show.
Thanks, Bucket.
We now have business cards, and he got our first business card. So if I give you a business card as a wrestler, I want you on my show to have an interview. Let's close it out and take us home.
Yeah.
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 Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
This is the Three Wheels of Wrestling podcast.
Have a good day, guys. Take care.
All right. Take it
You
easy, guys.
too.